Meow. 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 Oh, whoops. What? I don't know. You need him in hand? Why do you need him in hand? Unblock attacking road control. I don't care about that. Didn't care about it last time either. Flash. No flying. Hello. I don't do much until 5. You can probably play Cryptic Command. Oh yes, our shiny new mythic rare. Is this the space set? I don't even know when this showed up in the game. It's a rogue. Can discard your opponent's cards with like Thoughtseize. Discard spells and counter spells really just do not like each other. I'm always disappointed with discard spells in general. Terrible top deck. Most of the time you don't necessarily need them. Is it? Oh yeah, it's an Ancient Tomb deck, for sure. Tiny Bones? I guess I could. Wasn't around last time I played it. It's been... Ooh, I don't know. Let me go look. I don't know. When's the last time I played this? It's been a while since I've genuinely gone back and played old stuff. Because new sets have kept me busy so much, but this is... Wow! It's been 1,238 days. 1,238 days. Crazy. Crazy. What is that? 3.5 years or something? 3.5 years ago. So whatever's come out in the past 3.5 years. I still haven't played a strip mine deck. I keep forgetting to go for that. I'll do it next time. We have the rest of forever. Unless we don't. Whoops. I don't think you can craft the... No, you can't craft... Where'd it go? You can't craft this at Mythic. It forces you to craft at the lowest rarity. And I don't know if you can pull this out of a pack. I don't know how every special guest works. So I don't know. We're getting 2 anthologies? Cool. They never brought Modern to Arena. What are they doing over there? Brainstorm. Yeah, the only reason I have it is because I can craft it at Uncommon. Which is kind of funny. I have 531 Uncommons. I don't actually remember the last time I used a single one. I don't really ever use the common and uncommon ones. I'm kind of surprised they're... Oh, okay, wait. I play a lot of Pauper. So the commons being low makes sense. Although I still think uncommons, you get more of them anyways in general. But, besides the point. I'm surprised my uncommons aren't in the thousands. Because I just don't really use them. Very surprised they're not in the thousands. It'd be cool if you could turn, 20 of them into a rare or something. I think that would be kind of decent. I'm sure there'd be a few accounts out there that would be just, fat stacks, but for us mortals, I think that would be kind of just fine if they did that. But money. Mother of Runes, really? Wow, that one's fine. Control Magic, yeah, that one's fine too. It's definitely not House Meld. Yeah, Control Magic's fine. Maybe it will replace House Meld. They'll, get rid of House Meld and give us, the one that's not fundamentally broken. I feel like Baleful Strix is weird. It is sitting there staring at your opponent. It could be annoying, but... Still a big fan of the 3-mana Ashiok. We are sort of stealing our opponent's cards in some weird way. I don't have to go all in on that, though. I'd rather kind of not do that, actually. Hostage Taker's funny. I don't need your Rusko. I don't really care about Rusko. But I can't say I hate Rusko. Oh, so we get all the talismans and signets? Cool, cool. Yeah, Twitch chat is beating you to the curve. YouTube chat's behind. Get with the times. As far as I'm aware, there's no way to actually conjoin the chats. You would have to put them on your screen, and then people would just have to see the delayed responses between each other. You can't, combine the chats. If for some reason you wanted to do that. Do. Okay, where do we go from here? I think Control Magic is fine. Yeah. I don't know what would make it better. They're afraid to print a better Control Magic? What would be better than Control Magic? We have like the weird fairy that does it. It's like a 4-minute 2/2, I think, that steals a creature, and if the 2/2 dies, they get the creature back. 3 mana seems a little too cheap for a complete mind control. Usually it starts to just simply turn into removal. Oh, forgot that card. Suppose 3 mana control magic is actually better than a 4 mana one. You are correct. I'm also hearing ducks outside flying south for the winter, I guess. This is a giant triangle of ducks flying over. Midnight Clock Shuffle is just your stuff. We could technically play a mill card, but I really don't want to do that just for the sake of my commander. Seems like a not good idea. I do like Mind Sculptor. What's the new Memory Deluge? What's the new one? It has Kicker? Does it have Kicker? Someone will have to tell me. I think it has Kicker. This one. Ah! I don't even know what it does, but he's playing Modern. Look at the top X cards, where X is the number of cards. Put one of those cards into the other cards, and then if this was kicked, put 2 of the cards into your cards. And then put the rest of the cards with the other pile of cards. Alright, cool. What are my dark rituals? Liliana works. Can make my opponent discard stuff. Oh no, actually not really, because they're not gonna they're gonna discard something that like obviously gets reanimated if they just really don't want that to happen. The Mountain of Spot Removal and probably board wipes, such as but not limited to Damnation. Pay life. Make your opponent do stuff. Toxic Deluge. I couldn't think of the name of it. Does Lockbox steal it? No, you just copy it. I think this is too slow. Every time I play this, it feels slow. You can just simply name your commander, your opponent's commander, I guess, and just have that always as a thing. But most of the time, your opponent's commander probably doesn't do anything for you. Yeah, I haven't gotten this card to feel exciting. Also, sort of the best things to do in the format, fundamentally, are kind of 1 and 2. And sometimes just completely whiffs. Opponent casts a spell. Yeah, you can't choose not to. Yeah, sometimes this whiffs. Guess you can get rid of it, but still. I have been kind of let down with that card. It's just so random. Bum bum bum. Bitter Blossom for rogues? Why do I care about rogues? Why do we care about rogues at all? No, I see where you're going, but no, that doesn't work. I don't care about those rogues. We're not Eureka. Dang it. Other bitter, that one. Reanimate. Probably Cyclotic Rift. I don't like Search for Sconto. Murder Strider is fine. Flood Moon? I think it's sort of at its weakest here. What's this do? I suppose stock up. I don't actually hate Memory Deluge. Though card advantage in this form is quite slow. I always like the 5-minute Jace. I actually don't care about most 5-minute cards because my commander. Yeah, Rebuke is okay. Commandeer is possible. I'm not playing Mana Rocks. Slightly less possible, but still. Plenty of spells for all the Delve cards. Could just play Expropriate, and then you get to 9 mana, and then you probably win. You just cast it at 9. Sort of like Tooth and Nail. Sometimes it doesn't work though, but there's plenty of people who are just over it when you cast it, even if you don't have anything going on. They're just like, they're just done. I'm not super convinced I have to mill my opponent, which means I can just not play really bad cards just to randomly sometimes get something important. Is it come back tapped? Nope. You can just take fetch lands. Ah, shoot. I should have looked at my list. I just looked at the date. Boop. I was playing... Wait, why was I playing Cling to Dust? Isn't that, like, backwards? Well, again, this is 3 years ago. Oh, I was playing Search for Skanta. Arena... I had 3 mana Kaito. I don't actually agree with that at all now. Or that, or that. Hero's Downfall, wow. Could you imagine playing cards? Extra turn, sure. Cosmos Elixir was the nerfed version. Oh, I had Manlands in here. How far we've come. I had both of the Manlands. Both halls. Or the D&D ones, whatever. No way on earth would I play those now. Dimir Guildgate? Wow. Dismal Backwater? Man, things were great back then. Things were great back then. Tragic. Yeah, you don't have to have a win condition with Tameo or Otter Ral. You can just send the ultimate, and people concede. I did it with both of them without a win condition, and people are just over it. Which means your deck can be better, assuming your opponent concedes. You could just make your deck even better because you don't have to play like bad win conditions or something, or unnecessary cards. You just make it easier to go for the ultimate. Davriel is a weird one. I don't think Davriel's highest roll is super beneficial though. So, but I don't hate it. Planeswalkers are kind of at a premium with an idea like this. Extinction Event's nice. Grief is weird. I do have Reanimate. I can force out... Wait, it does discard? Or is it exile? Discards. Okay, we can try that. Shieldred is weird. 4-mana sorcery just sits there and... I like Blasphemous. Crux of Fate is decent. I think we're in that, like, idea space. Could run Final Parting and some a giant generic thing. All 3 parts of this are good. I can discard and then tutor. Yeah, all 3 parts of this card work. Can actually just steal with my commander as well. I was in diapers 3 years ago. I was a little baby. Suppose Virtue is on theme. Still don't care about Baleful Strix. Castle is free enough for me. So is the blue one. I could probably play the blue castle. This was in my old Zareth deck, which is crazy. I would never play this now. 3 years later, I would never play this. But it was in the original, or well, my first one. I think Scarab God is so unbelievably slow. But it's kind of cool. Yeah, we have Chrome Mox. I don't need Maze Mines. Do I want Medallions? Not really? Palantir One Ring? At least Palantir. Maybe not One Ring, because we don't just win really quickly, and we could tap the One Ring like 4 times and then die. So, probably just not. It's not it here. Tellurian Terror, Gurmag Angler. Let me think. I mean, okay, it is possible. They're not awful. They do a decent job at blocking, pressuring things, but I can just simply run more removal. Or something like that. Which I probably want to. I don't actually have all the good ones. There's all the enchantment removal black cards. Feed the Swarm. What's the other Feed the Swarm? It might be Exile. No, it's not Exile. There it is. Withering Torment. We can try that. I normally don't give that card too much of a chance, but it's probably just fine to try it. Shieldred's Edict gives some hedge against Tifa. Not terribly concerned about that kind of thing. Oh, and Vivi. Yes, Edict, some people swear by it. I'm not opposed to it in this deck here. What's the... Yeah, there's also Pyreka's Libation. Not going to run that one, though. Loses all Ravioli till Forevers. Maybe just these two. Stifle is okay in this kind of like Ancient Tomb meta. I think Stifle is kind of decent. And same with Chrome Mox. You can technically Stifle Chrome Mox. I don't know if you ever would do that, but it's sort of the same as casting Stern Scolding on a Menadork. So, like, it would be weird to not play Stern Scolding first, I think. I'm not super sold on Stern Scolding as a card in general, but it's probably just good enough, or at least to try, but I normally don't. The card doesn't last long with me. Okay. What was... Okay, no Tome of the Infinite, I think. Although it does sort of do what we want. How many are, like, really, really bad? Light of Hope is okay. Ponder's fine. Sore Spike is... Guess Dark Ritual, Duress, Bolt. Double Strike the Commander is funny. So Giant Growth is kind of the only one that's really bad, and then maybe Force Spike. So this deck actually does like most of them. Like, even Fog can be useful. Not saying it is going to consistently be useful, but... Surely there's one more Planeswalker that I didn't think about. Yeah, no Liliana. No Lily... Oh, yeah, Psychic Frog. Ah, yes, perfect. That thing that for some reason I continuously forget exists. I don't know how or why. I also somehow scrolled past it like 3 times. Alright, that's actually really, really good here. I mean, this is... I mean, let's see, what is actually standing out? This, I suppose, to a degree. Probably shouldn't even be in here, actually. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't run that. If people are really intuitive, I just trust my opponent's intuition. I should trust it that people will, in fact, not concede to it. Okay, someone want to explain to me why these are uneven? What the heck? Why does Commandeer take up more space? Just because the word is too low on the text box? It's weird that they made a specific effort to do that with this card. Like, they lowered the stack so you could see the word on it. Like, the pile of cards is lower than these, the 5s. I've never noticed that before. I've never noticed that. It doesn't do that with Counterspell, or the Faithless Looting, or this. Huh. Oh, it even changes the text from the Japanese to English when you zoom in on it. I've never noticed that either. Really? Oop. Just go to the front. Ah, whatever. Notion Thief? There's a better Notion Thief, though, I thought. Oh, yeah, they do it with the basics. I've never mentally registered that. Seems inconsistent. This is that weird Hullbreaker thing. Or the thing I keep calling Hull Breaker. Hull Breacher? I'm wishy-washy about this. I think a lot of the most successful strategy doesn't really do this, right? Those strategies being green. They don't really do something that Notion Thief would punish. Unless it's something like Tatyova or Tanic, I guess. Kind of? Ugh. I mean, I don't hate it. Sometimes it's hilarious. And then sometimes it's just, way worse than Narset. Yeah, I think I would play Narset first. I said I was looking for Planeswalkers, so I could actually run Narset. I think Narset is just slightly better than Notion Thief. Especially how I don't have a lot of creatures, so the pile of removal my opponent might be building up would then just kill the Notion Thief. So... I don't know. It's eh. I think Narset is always good, right? Notion Thief is sometimes good. But I think Narset always has a minus here. Notion Thief could very well not do anything. Especially against stuff like Tifa. It's just going to do nothing. Sometimes even against Vivi, unfortunately. Even against, some blue decks, it'll actually still do nothing. It's kind of sad. It also, I think, when your opponent seeks, with, Seek New Knowledge or whatever, it actually doesn't count as card draw. If they have, stuff like Memory Deluge, Consult... Dig Through Time. Notion Thief doesn't care. Neither does Narset, but... Alright, let's start here, I think. I like this. Alright, we're back with Zareth San, the Trickster. 5-mana 4/4 Flash. The second chunk of text doesn't matter, but the third chunk is whenever this deals combat damage to a player, you take a permanent from that graveyard and put it into play on your side. It's not tapped, so you can probably, without doing anything about your opponent's graveyard yourself, expect a creature that you killed or just a fetch land, which is okay to me. Some decks mill themselves to a degree. Most kind of don't. I don't really like mill cards in any sense. This has not changed. I was looking at my list from 3 years ago, and... I don't think there was any mill card in that one, and I still agree with my past self from 3.5 years ago that I would not play any mill stuff today. Milling your opponent can benefit them to a degree, and also you don't just get something crazy because you did that. And if all you did with your card was mill your opponent, it didn't draw or something what's the... Psychic Scream? Whatever it's called. It's it's a 1 mana, your opponent mills 2, and you draw 1 card. Normally you target yourself with that in you used to when it saw play in Legacy and Modern and whatnot. I can't remember the name of the card. Blue-Red Delver, I think, liked it in Legacy. But milling is just random, right? You're not gonna hit something that matters with this. If this was going to matter in a given game. This is definitely vastly more impactful than Y'shtola. You don't have white, so no crazy Swords, Plowshares nonsense, but still, this feels very... your opponent does not want you to touch them with this card. The part with the mana investment, you just can't do it, because it doesn't have the same text as Yuriko. It is not from the commander. Command zone. If they went back and made it again, maybe they would do that, but I think Eureka was specifically a commander, so this card was not from a commander set or anything, as far as I'm aware, so it doesn't have that, but still fine to me. Just blue-black control. There have been colossal improvements to the blue-black strategy in the past 3.5 years, but there's still, the mainstay ideas. Psychic Frog is Always very satisfying. We've seen this card completely solo people. It's just disgusting. Scarab God is questionable, I'd say. Honestly, anything that cost 5 exactly might be a little questionable, because this ideally is the thing you do on turn 5. It would be a little weird to cast a sorcery speed 5-drop instead of leaving up a flashing one for your opponent's end step, and you have a bunch of permission in the meantime. Discard spells don't play too nice with counter spells, and I much prefer the counter spell side of things over the discard spell side of things. You can easily do both. I'm sure plenty of people do both. Discarding your opponent's best card to reanimate 10 years later is some kind of idea, but let's be real, most of the time you cast Thoughtseize early, which is where it's at its best. You're not going to Thoughtseize your opponent's Emrakul, you're going to Thoughtseize Llanowar Elves. So you're not exactly taking the crazy thing that, you know, just for this. That seems counterintuitive to actually winning the game. So I wouldn't advise that. But you can, it's not like I'm saying Thoughtseize is a bad card in any stretch or whatever, but I just not going to go down that route. Again, just a bit awkward with counterspells. Commandeer is a way to sort of protect this if I go to cast it on 5 mana, and I don't have any mana to leave up to defend it. There is, like, cheat death effects you could probably run. I am running, what is it, Grief? So, Grief, cheat death. Obviously a really scary thing to do on turn 1. You just 3 for 2 yourself, effectively, to take your opponent's 2 best cards. And yeah, that's it. So let's see what this looks like all this time later. One of my favorite commanders when I had played it at the time. And the format has gone a long way since then. Not just the blue-black stuff, but still excited to see what we can do with this. Also, there's sirens going off like crazy. I swear I never remember re-rolling my quest. It's so weird. Another commander that, like, doesn't at all care about the new set. Station lands, stations. There's, like, that one decent removal spell. I guess the Black Charm could be interesting. It is triple black, though. I am playing the triple blue one. Alright, so ideally, I don't lose to Strip Mine 6 times, but we'll see. I do have the Azusa taken care of on turn 2. Okay, now I do not have it taken care of because I have one of the 2 cards that makes it... Oh no, there's 3 of them. Utopia Sprawl's the other one. Yep, well, now I've got nothing. I'm sure they windmill slam it. There's no reason not to. You just cast it. Like, might as well. Oh, that's an Ancient Tomb. Alright. Well, we're losing very fast. Very, very fast. Now we're just, as per usual, gambling that our opponent doesn't have a way to sacrifice this draw if you have 5 or more lands. Alright. Let's play you and you. I can actually, like, steal my opponent's lands at some awkward juncture, and that juncture currently doesn't exist, but... You face this commander of the queue, or Azusa? I'd be a little blown away if you faced Zareth consistently. That's an Eldrazi temple. Wow. Okay. That's just a straight-up Eldrazi temple. Okay, so everything's really ugly right now, so I'm gonna take... Actually, no, there's no reason to make any kind of move. I'll just see what my opponent does. It looks like the Azusa player doesn't just have the thing out of hand. Oh, silly me, of course it does. Why wouldn't it? Yeah, my bad. Silly me. thinking I had ideas I could do. Might as well be mana efficient at this point. So I have to name even, and then somehow continue the game after that. Alright, surely they don't have the second thing, giant, scary, dumb thing, just straight out of hand. Okay, I think I should kill the augur. Well, I can't, but... Oh, I guess I actually can. Does that change anything? I mean, I'm still just losing. I don't know. My opponent is not likely to respect the flashing Zareth here. It would be rather surprising. Okay, yeah, they didn't respect it. I don't blame them. I wouldn't either. It's not even like it's busted here or anything. It's just in play. All right, good sign. Come on! Come on! Come on! Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I need to draw something so crucial. I don't know. Come on. Okay. Alright. We did it. Pay 3 life. I can Thought Knot them. I don't really know why I would do that, though. Maybe it's just the best thing to do. I feel like it isn't. Full stop. I should probably just... Wait, do I have a land in my graveyard? I do. Yeah. Okay, that's quite significant. Still at the mercy of my opponent's nonsense here. They can recur the Thought Knot, but at this point, I don't care. It would also be the only thing my opponent was doing. Or would be doing. Alright, so now just triple strip mine because that's fun, I guess. Cool. I'm glad I didn't leave out cut down for no reason. Awesome. Well, everything we did was just outdone categorically by Kami, so... Kami and then Ulamog. I suppose I could run this Surveil land. Yeah, it's fine. Just put it in. I'm gonna just not play the fetch lane right now. That is just straight up opt. That's weird. Grief is nice. I currently am not convinced I need the sweeper. Could be wrong. So I can cast Narset and not necessarily lose immediately if it doesn't work. I could also just Grief first and get rid of one of these removal spells that probably won't do anything. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get rid of that one. Alright, yep. Don't know what they had, but I guess it was either a counter spell and they didn't want to put it here, or who knows. Cool. Itch meet it. Nah, I think my demoralizing phase is over when it comes to Utopia Sprawl. It just is what it is. It's just part of the game now. I've accepted it. I say I've accepted it, but my track record is still complaining about it. Let's add that. Take out you. Is there another one? I don't actually hate Fetid Pools as another fetch target. That's fine. I can afford to do that, I think. And then run... Did I not put the Verge in here? No, that one's my bad. Oh, I didn't. Oh, whoops. Okay, that one was definitely my bad. I grazed over the lands too quickly. I might have been caught up talking or something. Yeah, the third fetch is fine. Target. Well, I'm on the play, so there is some kind of universe in which I get to do cool stuff. I would not be able to keep this on the draw. I'm gonna fight over that? I'd like to see an overreaction. Nice. That definitely worked out. They didn't cast their commander. That's hilarious. So, fetch land. It is extremely likely that I spend all my mana, so I'm not gonna do that. They did not cast their commander. Let it be known. I could... yeah, we're going to Davriel immediately, because if they have a combat trick that isn't a 1-1 counter, they can then not successfully... My life total doesn't matter, I die in one hit. They cannot then... Oh, what I could do is double minus. Maybe keep having the Llanowar Elves alive is still just fine. 4... What if I just minused... Yeah, alright, we're just gonna do the other minus. Killing Llanowar Elves is just weird. The plus is weird. We could do the life gain one. Kind of weird, but whatever. Leaving up removal here is not doing anything. I don't have a counterspell, so... Could have left up Memory Deluge at options. Opponent's acting as if they're going to do something there. No, you are not. I can plus to do kind of nothing, so I'll just do this. So now I just pass. And then my opponent has to leave up a protection spell and also have 500 land ramp spells through all the other stupid stuff they've done so far. Correct. Gitch, we did it. They didn't have it. So Tameshi's a combo deck, or one of them is. Is it this one? Yeah. It's a weird combo, but it's a combo nonetheless. Okay, well they have, like, effectively the Llanowar Elves of their deck in their hand, because it discounts their ability. Yep, I got all of them. Sure. So do I play Black Market? I don't instantly lose, so yes. They would need the we'll see. Vexing Bauble, what? What on earth are you doing? Do I need a 3-2? No, not really. Let's play Tapland. Sure. Paradox Engine. Oh, cool. Let's not lose a game. So I can name my... do Rogue, I guess. Rajay. Play you. Or threaten my commander. Threatening my commander actually doesn't accomplish that much. I'm just going to play this and start ticking away. I feel like maybe I just steal game-winning cards with it randomly, and that's just funny to me. We can play this. Alright. That's the line I took. What I hit? Time wipe. Sure. Hand is kind of bad right now. I guess I'll spin the midnight clock. Oh, okay. So they just take my Ashiok? They do. Alright, Ashiok did something that my opponent didn't want to keep having happen. Neat. Alright, let's see if we can actually flip this. It might very likely not succeed at doing that, though. Davriel, does that matter? Play Davriel. Okay. I don't even think it matters, but I'll cast it. Opponent seems to agree. Okay. That's just a stifle, I guess. Sure. Huh. Okay, they found a way to kill Davriel immediately. Excellent. Although I can just cast my commander. So, it does force me to tap out, but I'm going to do that. Opponent finds another bounce spell, and now their commander is uncounterable. Let's do that. Can I even swing anymore? Yeah, I can still swing. Okay. Oh wait, no, I'm still gonna cast in response? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna cast in response. But it doesn't really matter. So, go to combat? I didn't have to cast the edict there, I know. It was a mistake. Alright, so with House Meld now, and they're not totally tapped out, I'm still gonna just cast this here. Surely they're out of stuff. Nope. They see it. Of course they see it, why not? Alright, so now we just straight up lose, right? Looks like it. Excellent. I mean, yep, that's it then. I just lose. Okay, I can actually counter something. I guess. I don't know if it matters. It doesn't look like it does, but whatever. I did it. Yay, fun. Nope, I'm not going to say the edict made me throw, but I definitely should not have cast it. It was going to get shuffled away by the stupid clock anyway, so it didn't matter. And I drew 25 lands with the clock, so... Truly fascinating. Well, this is play versus draw. Unbelievable. No land, that is actually insane. Wow. 2 lands with Ragavan? Oh, alright. I guess it makes sense. How do you not swing at me? I'm confused. How do you not... What? Okay. What are we playing around here? I don't know. Hopefully they don't have a land, because I'll put that back on top. That is significant. And then I can take a turn off, because I know exactly what they're going to do. So I can just cast those. If I didn't know what they were going to do, I would not cast those. Opponent apparently has some kind of castable card in this spot. What? It's not Flare. What's castable here? I am so confused. I don't know. Chord of Calling? Nope. Alright, well, that probably just lets me win. Yep. That lets me win. 2 mana win the game. It didn't have to be Mana Drain, honestly, but because it was, the game is now immediately over. But if it wasn't Mana Drain, it's still very likely to be over. Endurance? Why would Tanic want Endurance? It might have actually just been Endurance. It might be the only thing it could have been. But I don't know why Tanic would want that. Sure, I guess. That's... yeah, I mean, you can target your opponent's graveyard, I guess. I don't know. I don't see the... feel... I haven't seen Endurance in... very rarely see Endurance, I'll say that. I would not recommend you play it. I'm gonna mulligan that. Well, we have Brainstorm, so it can help here. This is the... yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, strip mine everywhere, I guess. Still, though, I don't know. Doesn't seem like the right avenue to dealing with strip mine strategies. Cut down. Ooh, not really doing much against Tanic, actually. Well, it's not really going to snipe anything because you're just holding priority for 600 years. Your opponent just has to pay attention. But I think it could really only be Endurance there in that spot. They just don't do anything. I have a land, so I don't have to do anything either. Okay, I drew another one. Still have to do nothing. I probably should stifle this, but then I'm not really accomplishing anything. Wait a minute. No, I don't care about this. No, I don't care about this at all. You can do the thing. I don't care. That's fine. Because it has to name Kavu or Pilot. That's just, like, super fine. That is as fine as it can possibly be. I don't care at all about this. Unless I do? Nope, I don't. There you go. Have your cute little Kavu. There you go. I have a land right there. We're fine. Rajay. Where are you? There you are. Now I have to brainstorm. Or it would be ideal to do as such. Blood Moon. Alright, now I should brainstorm before I cannot brainstorm. Alright, we're brainstorm locked. Heads up. Put those back like that. I don't have either double, which is the problem. If I had double blue or double black, I'd feel much better about this. There is nothing I can do. Nope. Let's keep that. Get rid of that. Whenever you cast your stuff with things, stuff things. Okay, there's not much I can do about that. I'm gonna just assume countering it is not the right idea. Okay, maybe I had to counter it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I did. Alright, I guess it... Okay, it also just didn't matter. It just didn't matter. Okay, brainstorm locked. Excellent. We'll wheel with the clock into 7 lands, but we can't brainstorm into a land. Literally not allowed. Yeah, the cavern was on Kavu. I could have memory relapsed the card, I guess. But I would have lost the next turn anyways. The space set? What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Let's get a swamp. There is no world in which I stifle that. Opponent appears to have some kind of burn spell. Don't really know what else it could possibly be. Ideally, it's not Lightning Bolt. That's just a thing? Okay, that's a thing. You can play that card. That's a thing you can do. Cool. What is it? Wait, what's the plus on it? Alright. Wasn't expecting that. I don't know if I would have done that, but that's what they did. Stifle can stop Clive, but I really don't think that I'm concerned with the idea of doing that, so. They get a free block. Actually, I can make it so they cannot get a free block. I guess I'll do that. Yeah. Let's not trip up on that. Let's do this. Discard Polluted Delta? Does her life total matter? Kind of, but also not really. I'm just gonna get rid of the Islander. Alright, Psychic Frog. Yep. Do that thing you do, which is win the game on your own. It's just better than my commander. It's ridiculous. Such a ridiculous card. So ridiculous. Okay, at this point it's pretty obvious that some of the 5-minute cards are not... Well, I'm taking out Scare of God. The game's not about that. Everything I said is true so far. It's like I play this too much. It's like I play this format way too much. That doesn't matter. I'm still going to keep Jace. Cruelty could just be a better card that's castable when the game has meaning still. Like 1 or 2 mana. Zero point? What? This is a almost as good as Toxic Deluge, is it? Yes, Psychic Frog is on Planeswalkers for some reason. I found out on accident. I just smacked someone's Planeswalker once. Destroy all creatures with toughness X or less, and then you lose that much life. But you have to pay mana for X, though. Toxic Deluge, you just pay life for X. This is nowhere near the same as Toxic Deluge. This isn't even on the same dimension as Toxic Deluge. Toxic Deluge can kill like Eldrazi. This doesn't do anything. I just play Meat Hook Massacre. If X is 6 or more, reanimate something. So 7 mana? Yeah, it's not even in the same ballpark. It's not even the same planet. It's probably just worse than some of the 4 and 5 mana sweepers, actually. Speaking of sweepers, do I want more? No, not really. More permission is interesting, I think. Haven't really struggled in that department, though. More removal is interesting. If I had another Frogify... I'm not running the instant speed one. I suppose I could. I could just run a whole bunch of them. No Pongify. I'm trying to swing with a 4/4. It's kind of awkward to give my opponent a 3/3. I don't think I want to do that. I also genuinely do not like Rusko. Just like full stop. Don't really care about this. I don't know. It's alright, I guess. No Turgid. Probably no Dark Confidant. I want a 1 or 2 minute card for real. For real, for real. Oh, right, River's Review. Ledger Shredder's interesting. Kind of weird, though. Both Liliana's. If you Dark Ritual. I don't like Liliana the Veil with this kind of deck right now. Wow, I'm not excited about anything right now. Huh. Doesn't seem right. Cruel Claws heist? Oh no, the baleful city thing? Whatever. I don't know. What is it called? It's not an instant. Again, we already talked about discard spells. I don't want to play discard spells. A lot of this, I think it's called Cities Plunder or Plunder City. A lot of the time, it's just like a Raven's Crime that gives you something that doesn't matter. I'm disappointed in my options right now. I'm not even sure if I like Stifle. Stifle is kind of an emotional thing, though. I'll admit that. Stifle is usually an emotional decision. Sign in Blood is okay. I can probably do better, though. I don't have to play like a sorcery 2-bitted draw 2. Oh yeah, what are our blue-black... I actually didn't look at multicolored cards. Well, again. I didn't look at them again. Okay, so it's Dark Confidant, except it's your opponent's deck instead of yours. You lose life equal to its mana value. Then why is it face down? If you lose 7 life, I think your opponent just kind of knows what you got. That's kind of weird, huh? Can you play lands? Yeah, you can. That's really funny. How come we can't just play 5 Psychic Frogs? Life would be so much easier if Wizards just let me play 5 Psychic Frogs. How come we don't have a blue-black Kroxa? Life would be so much easier if we had a blue-black Kroxa. Alright, what are our random cantripping stuff? Oh yeah, 3 steps ahead is okay. It's only double blue, effectively. Yeah, let's just do 3 steps ahead. That's fine. I'm tired of staring at stuff. It shouldn't be too hard. It's kind of concerning that it takes me that long to find just a couple cards. Not the best sign. Not the best sign, I must admit. I mean, I wasn't looking at commons and uncommons, though. There's plenty that are totally reasonable. Could probably just play Surveil 1, Scry 1. Whatever that thing's called. This hand does not work. It probably would be keep if I had an island. Probably would keep this as an island. Oh, against Tifa. Okay, yeah. With an island, would I don't think I'd keep this with an island against Tifa. On the draw with Brainstorm, I'd have to, like, find a super cheap, fast option. Assuming it's, like, an actual Tifa deck. I haven't seen a non-Tifa deck yet. So it's usually the all-in on it. And I would say that one is vastly more vulnerable to just running out of resources. I still think the, like, Tifa as a side plan is actually the better Tifa. I really do think that. I've confirmed my suspicions on that, having played them both. Played both quite extensively too, actually, off stream. Yeah, we're mulliganing. Oh. Oh. Okay, my opponent just doesn't want to play against a blue-black deck. After all that thinking. They made us sit there for like 3 minutes and then just decided they didn't want to play the game. They didn't even mulligan. Alright, you sure? I did not have the hand that answered anything at all. Like, I just didn't have the cards that would have dealt with anything they could have done. Okay, so if Tifa's every other opponent, I'm kind of okay dropping maybe... what is Commandeer doing against... No, this doesn't do anything against Tifa specifically. Commandeer is sort of a free spell, though. What else is too... Cryptic Command... Oh, yeah, Cryptic Command is probably too slow. Triple Blue is certainly not free. I don't like more than maybe doubling up. Archmage's Charm is the same issue. But I mean, at least it costs 3. Yeah, what's another cheap removal spell? I mean, there's a ton to choose from. Liliana does actually stop Tifa because it puts Tifa's power below 1, and then every time it doubles at 0, it just stays at 0. I've gotten hit by Liliana's plus playing Tifa before. They can combat trick out of it, but that does demand they cast their combat trick to get out of it. What is this doing outside of that matchup, though? Not really anything. It's not a great plus. I mean, Liliana's minus is solid. Alright, we keep thinking about Liliana, so Liliana it is. The -2 deals with Tifa all the while. All the same. No, actually not all the same. It just hard deals with it. Better deal with Tifa with a hard answer than a soft one. One would argue. Opponent is deciding if they want to play first. Oh, they figured it out. They do want to play first. Alright, this is a 0-3. Scolding doesn't do anything. A Scolding is... This is why I don't play these cards. This is just why I don't play them. They're so... Like, you just... Like, the situational options answers are just, way too out there a lot of the time. Just feels really rough. Stifle has a rather high chance at being useful. A lot of players aren't just cracking their turn 1 fetch land for no reason. So, I mean, they could have, like, Ragavan or something. But you see a lot of end-step fetches. Assuming my opponent, you know, plays a fetch and whatnot. Alright, there's the Scolding. Excellent. I'm going to gamble and assume that I don't need one of these. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Currently, I am not winning. Arcane Infusion. What? Just a cantrip? Oh. Cantrip for a 6-drop. Excellent. There's no way on earth they cast Vivi here. Yep. It just wouldn't make any sense. I don't think anyone ever would cast Vivi there. Them playing Magic on my end step is why I lose this game, for sure, if that's what they consistently do. No fetch land. Also, no Mox. Notable. Opponent got rid of Stone Rain. I don't really know what Stone Rain is due. Oh, well, if you play Mox all day, it makes sense. Alright, I'm going to assume that this is safe, and then my opponent will have to now respect my 1 blue mana. It could be Wash Away. That's really about it, though. Wonder if they have Tail Zone, maybe? I highly doubt there's a Stifle in there. Do we respect Wash Away? I don't think I would. I don't think I would. Okay, it looks like they either do or are just not interested in casting VV. Both are valid. Both are valid. Commander doesn't do much against this deck. I mean, there are fetch lands, I guess. They're looking at my swamp. They're checking out my swamp. What you looking at my swamp for? Ancient Tomb. What does that do? It lets me cast my commander easier and still leave up stuff. Sure. Have I played Ancient Tomb yet today? I don't think I have. Scalding works? What? Oh, this is why you play it. So I'm gonna send it. Probably should have tapped the midnight clock for that, honestly. Oh, wait. It's power or toughness. Oh, yeah, you're right. I had grossly miscalculated that. Stern Scolding is actually viable. That goes to show how much I haven't played it. Okay, I like it more than I did 2 seconds ago as a card. I do like it more than I did. I will admit that. Yep, that's no surprise. Of course, they have a wizard in play. Excellent. This dies to Fatal Push. I should probably still cast Cut Down, because VV could just like randomly outpace the Cut Down if I had sent it. So, cast this. There are things in the... Yep, there's reasons to swing all out. Oh, there's no reason not to swing all out. I don't want Ralzarek. I'm not going to kill it in response or pre-combat or something. I would not take it. This is interesting. I can't change the rest of it, but the top part is actually just fine. I'll do that. Alright. Stern Scolding's actually on the table. Complained about the beginning. Complained about a card I didn't read, of course. Thought it was just toughness. So 2 giant walls of permission and a serious amount of pressure on the face. I do not at all care about this card. In fact, it looks like it might have to block. No anything pre-combat, just combat. Just combat. I would imagine they want to block the 4/4 here. If they didn't block, they would probably die. Ow. I would imagine it's an island here. No, there you go. I feel like I'm asking for trouble if I pre-combat removal spell that. They have not cast another spell, and well, shoot, I was asking for some serious trouble. Look at that, I was right. So they did block that, which means my commander loses all abilities. Alright, now I want this to die, so I will just do this now. My commander as a 1/1 has text on it that matters, just in terms of damage. Like, that's still just pressuring my opponent. They're at 5. My spells deal damage and whatnot, so... Cannot afford to do nothing, so Desperation VV. Wow, really? Just stone cold nothing? That seems wild to me. I'm gonna surveil here. Having nothing here is really crazy. How do you... What could they have? I don't even know. We'll find out. We'll find out real soon. Cavern. Don't need it. My opponent's not going to be fighting over my commander at random bouts in this game, so... They can't take this damage, they have to do something. Snapcaster, alright. Do I win? I win. Alright, nice. Cool. What was Snapcaster gonna do? Flame of Ilnor? Yep, they had all, like, the grindy 3-drop cards. All the grindy 3-drop cards. All of this is interesting, but none of this cares too much about VV, to be completely honest with you. So, kind of an interesting line of cards here, but, I mean, these are all the, what is this, mono-mythic rare stuff, like mythics and rares that Blue-Red just likes to do in general. Oh, they also had this, too. Yeah, that was actually kind of neat for us. We did get some value out of it. Not that much, though. Yeah, it's kind of tough for them to ever commit VV, and they were aware of that, so they played accordingly. Cryptic Command, yeah, that'd be neat. VV easily can play Cryptic Command. Pretty easily. Alright, so Stern Scolding's way better than I thought it was, I'm not gonna lie. Power and toughness is extremely significant to me. Extremely significant. It went from, like, stifle level to just pretty solid. There's definitely other things you could run instead, though. Let's see. What do I not want? What has been a letdown? I want card advantage. more than I have, and I'm not sure if I'm going to ever really find that. Memory Deluge could just be a cheaper Memory Deluge, like stock up, or stock up, or stock up, or stock up. The instant speed divination is totally reasonable here. I think I like it more than this waterlogged teachings, at the very least. What is instant that draws that makes sense that I don't have in here? Consider, that's what it's called. Consider. I was talking about this earlier. I forgot the name of it. I don't know if that's a good or bad sign that I forgot the name of Consider. Is that a good thing? Oh, I didn't know this was an instant. Do I have enough removal for Spectacle? Huh? Oh, the enchantment Spectacle. Absolutely. What does Spectacle seek for, though? Dang it. Dang it! What does it seek for? Where are you? There you are. Just a non-land card. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. Pool resources? What? Oh, this thing. Instant draw 2 if the gift was promised. Seek 2 non-lands instead. Oh yeah, this is kind of cool. I've never played with that. That is a very satisfying card to cast. It's not the best thing to cast, but I do like it. I like it. Can I find something that is not that card that I can take out? Dark Confidant's weird. I have a lot of sweepers. If it's one of my only few really cheap early creatures, then it's subject to a ton of early removal that my opponent otherwise would not have been able to use. I have the ability to strand a significant amount of removal in people's hands when I don't play any creatures, and having 1 or 2 is kind of awkward. Now, Psychic Frog is insane, so it's kind of an exception to that, but I don't really care for Dark Confidant for the same reason. Or for that reason. Waterlogged Teachings is weird. It is a land. I don't need it. I don't need it. Commandeer is definitely still weird. How? I need thumb replacement surgery. My right thumb just constantly goes. Snap, crackle, pop. I will say Feed the Swarm being a sorcery is kind of sad. It's not free either. Blowing up like a 7-mana enchantment could kill me. I've noticed I've been losing a lot of life by the time I stabilize. We have Ancient Tomb and whatnot. Yeah, let's try to just not play Feed the Swarm. I think the same logic is almost there with Commandeer. You can legit win with that sometimes. If you know the matchup, familiarity. There's stuff like Tifa, though, that don't care really at all about it, unless you have something to target, like reroute the... Nah. Alright, let's just not run Commandeer. I think the format, I think specifically the most played things in the game currently don't care that much about it. If there was a broader range of opponents, like I saw 50 unique commanders consistently, I think it's way better. But it seems like it's the same 15 every single game. Or not even 15. Not even. It's being too generous. It's like 10. Of the 10 I see the most, it's only good against one of them that I can currently think of. It's only against like one of them. And it's not even 100% good against it. Let's add a removal spell. I did take one out. Can put one in. Feed the Cycle is pretty free. Do I have to run that one, though? Not necessarily. I can run any of them. Infernal Grasp is the most universal. Heartless Act has not really let me down. There's not too much going on that involves 1/1 counters currently. Like Bristly Bill is just Tifa for days. But there is Bristly Bill and Cub. They just laugh at this card a lot. Could play Cast Down and then just get upset at ourselves later. The old Salt LARP. Alright, let's just do Feed. Maybe Infernal Grasp is slightly better. I think Infernal Grasp is better. Yeah. I don't think the clause of dealing with Planeswalkers is worth all of that. Especially with Delve in my deck. Let's just not do that to ourselves if we don't have to. I don't think I've even seen a Planeswalker today yet. Have I? Have we? Has anyone seen one? I can't remember, so I guess not. Technically, Ral could have flipped into one, but he also dies to the front side of it anyways. Alright, I'm on the play, but I'm against this. This is a really, really not ideal matchup, I'll be honest with you. I mean, to be fair, it is just effectively mono green, but, you know. It's got that blue splash that's a headache to deal with. There's not much in the red department that I'm, like, horrendously terrified of, though. Top decking a black source for an early Liliana would be nice. I'm gonna just tempo, because that's just what I should do, be min efficient and stuff. Okay, I actually did draw it. That's crazy. Get rid of one of these, probably the one that's not castable for 600 years, especially if I end up discarding any kind of land. Which ideally I would not do, but we'll see. My commander is just like completely out of play in this matchup. Completely and utterly out of play. Well, if I ever smack them with my commander, we are certainly happy. They are getting kind of... Oh, wow, we did it. We just cast an honest Liliana of the Veil. We just had an honest Liliana of the Veil. They just were over it. They could poke it with Omnath's ability before it gets to 6, right? Like, it pluses, it goes back, then they poke it for 1. So I didn't actually have it. But there is a pretty solid chance Stock Up finds something that I can end up ticking up and countering this. Or I mean, even Stifle actually would do it. So, even if they did poke it, I also have the -2. It's not like that's not there, so... Yeah, just how we drew it up. Look at that. That was the greenest of green hands, by the way. My opponent just discarded it to Liliana. Primeval Titan Mythweaver Pock. Actually amazing. Mono green, mono green. Alright. The other mono green landfall commander. That's effectively the same. It's effectively the same exact deck. Well, I always say you can't do anything for 2 turns, but against this, with a hand like this on the play, I'm going to risk it. Because the payoff is kind of significant. It's kind of there. Okay, well, I can't not play lands. That would be weird. Burgeoning does have the ability to solo me. Like, just on its own. Can this do anything without kick? That's not X. Okay, yeah. We can just simply cycle this for whatever, because, I mean, meta-wise, it just makes sense to do that. Okay, yep. They have played 2 mana sources a turn, starting turn 1. and I have not. I am significantly behind. I don't feel like Extinction Event is catching me back up. Alright, make it 3 lands a turn. Memory Lapse. I would like the Jace, but I probably have to take this. What if I did just take the Jace and said screw everything? Yeah, I'm in the mood to do that. Buzz Patrol. Goat with the sub. Look at you go. 11 months. You're almost an annual enjoyer. They're out of lands, but I mean, they still look how much mana they have. So Liliana not doing too much. Actually, all of this isn't doing anything. Could just take the land and the. Ugh, yeah, whatever. It's fine. All right, so hopefully they play Tanic, no land in hand, and then they just double odd or something weird. All right, that's not what happens. They still technically double odd. I assume they're going to play Ashaya. Oh, we did take the Jace, too. I did take the Jace. Is the greed real? I think the greed is real. We're going to Jace plus. That is a spell I would love my opponent to cast. I would love my opponent to cast that card. I don't think they're going to, but it would be great if they did. I won't lie to you. Okay, so if they do play it untapped, and they go into 5, life is good. Okay, this is actually amazing. Everything we've ever wanted. Unless it isn't. So this... what does this let me do? Lets me do this. Odd. Alright, that is colossal. And then we can do that, because the Ancient Tomb. And we're going to just keep plussing, because I said so. You can keep that. Alright, this is as good as I could possibly ask for as a scenario. However, my opponent is at, like, Primeval Titan mana. I'd rather my opponent just draw lands than a random good card here, because I can cast basically everything in their deck. I will let them draw lands. And there it is. Huh. How long was that in their hand? That confuses me. They also did not play this as a land. Rather surprising. Huh. Rather surprising. So let's bounce that thing. And then bounce the other thing? Correct. There you get in there. Huge, potentially. There's no land in hand still, yeah. Alright, no counter spell. I don't care about Tanic regardless. If I ever smack him with my commander, we just, like, basically win on the spot. If I ever get that window. Oh, or they can just top deck Primeval Titan. That works too. Yep, why not? Why not? It's the only thing that makes sense. They got Cavern, which they already had a card that stopped me from countering it anyways. Alright, well, this basically has to happen. I'm gonna definitely plus here first. I don't want that. That's good. That's good. Ooh, excuse me. I would rather just brainstorm. I think. Yeah. Let's get rid of Damnation and Random Land. Put that there. Cast... or play a fetch land. Minus... Wait, you have a land now? How do you have a land? That doesn't make any sense. I don't think my opponent should have a land there. That's weird. Okay, and draw. Alright, so now I feel way less bad about cracking the fetch land before I lose the Damnation. Tanic itself isn't too scary if they simply just cast it, which, I mean, it's the only uncounterable thing, so I suppose it would make sense to start with that. Okay, they have a land. They have a fetch land as well. I can double bounce and then smack my opponent with Zareth, which seems like a really good idea. Alright, we're beating the mono green thing somehow. Or I'm significantly ahead. Like, significantly ahead. But I think we have it. I'm not sure what they could do at this point, but we'll see. I mean, I'm acting like the game is over. It's obviously not over. Let's bounce you. And there's no way I let them untap. Yeah, no, oh, no, oh, shoot! Oh, alright. Sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes you just make mistakes. Alright. I have, in fact, gotten bailed out. I shouldn't have played my land first. Okay, they didn't do the thing anyways. Yeah, we're gonna do this now. Shouldn't have played my land first, though. Oh, it actually doesn't matter. It actually just doesn't matter. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. We have Lightning Bolt? Where's it going? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I didn't activate it, but I could have done that earlier. I could also have pitched cards to this Psychic Frog at some point in this game and probably killed my opponent. Alright, we did it. Yep, like I said, the moment I hit my opponent with my commander, we win the game. That's what. The moment I steal something big and green, I just win. And that's exactly what happened. I hit them and they immediately conceded. So I was right about that. Let's see, were they dead if I didn't play my land first? I can pitch 5 cards to this thing that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12 from these two. And then 13 here. So I had 14 if I didn't play my land first. Yeah, they're super dead and they're tapped out. There's nothing to play around. Alright, so technically, to be fair, I did miss lethal. One would argue. I did just sort of miss lethal. The Lightning Bolt I could play around. Yeah. Alright, so we didn't get soloed by this. Look at that. It didn't happen. It could have happened. but it didn't. Not only did we beat a green deck, it had like 25 lands in play. Look at that. Alright, Codas could be an exception to the it's basically a mono-green strategy argument, because it does really enjoy its own existence, unlike a lot of the other commanders. There's nothing to do on turn 1 with Dark Ritual. Actually, my commander in this matchup just doesn't really do that much in general. But it can, but for the most part, I'm going to say it really doesn't. Oh, Psychic Frog was the next card. Ugh. We will take Reanimate. There are lines where that is extremely useful. There are lines where that works out fine, just fine. Bloom Tender. Let us tempo our opponent. Because next turn is stock up. I really think I should take all the lands. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's how I lose, so... I wonder if they cast their commander next turn. Do we think that's what they do? Oh, we hit a land too. Tragic. Would have ideally not hit more lands there. Yep, they do just straight up send it. Okay. They could have played untapped land, and then this would have tapped for, like, way more. So I can cast my commander, and I will, and then I can Toxic Spaghetti, and I will. 1. And then I can maybe do something with the cards I steal. I don't really know what that is, but, like, I can just take this, I guess. Not very exciting, but I did it. Is this my opponent not blocking with it? Is that what this is? This is my opponent not blocking with that, so yeah, I'm gonna swing. I mean, you wouldn't do all of that and then block with it. That would be kind of weird. I'll just take the land. I am totally fine with that. Let's cut down. There's an argument to be made that I should have done that the first time. Let's just take the land. Because of a Surveil land in my deck, so. And they obviously can't kill it. Sure. Alright, we did it. Yep. The green opponent was dependent on the green ramp spell, and we had it covered. The stock up was a little weird, but, I mean, you know, I won't win if I don't hit my lands, and I would have just, I played it safe and grabbed a second land. I could have taken one of the MDFC things, though, if I really wanted to. It was probably, in hindsight, really the right thing to do, but I would have actually wound up having just played the MDFC that very turn anyways, so it didn't really matter. What? Actually, can I just look at them? Yeah, okay, these 3. So if I took this, I would just play it for the turn. I really think I'm always taking 2 lands there. We did end up running out of gas here, though, which could have been incredibly concerning very quickly. But fortunately, we had the minus toughness situation taken care of, so... Is Dismember still a mythic, or can you craft it for real? Does anyone know off the top of their head? Man, we keep getting packs today. What is going on? It's like the 3rd pack today long. What is going on? Ah. Ugh. Actual nightmare. Spinning in my face. Still a mythic? Tragic. Oh, chat, why does it re-glow the store every time I spend an orb? And then my lizard brain has to click the store to get it out of there. When is the weekly thing? When is this reset? You know, after 6 years, 8 years, you'd think I'd know when the weekly wins reset. You'd think I'd know this, but I don't know that. I think it's Tuesday, just like every other video game, Tuesday is kind of like the internet reset day. But I don't actually know off the top of my head. I'm gonna say Tuesday before it's actually answered. That's mine. I'm locking in on a Tuesday. I'm locking it in. Okay, this does complement my commander, but not in the most ideal sense. It is Tuesday? Okay. I'd say I knew it, but I knew it. Oh yes, the glorious play versus draw. Do we lose to the 1 into 3? We haven't had it happen yet. I don't think we've had a 1 into 3 auto loss. Alright, I'm going to counter anything, because I'm falling behind egregiously. They did not technically have a 1 into 3. It is 2 mana sources a turn, though. Close enough, right? Who's really paying attention? Surely not me. They don't care about damnation, which is the big issue we're having here. I think I'll just Hellsmeld this. Wait, what? Okay, sure. Castle Spaghetti Vein. It is a land, but I already have 2 lands, and it is very unlikely I'll ever have time to like tap this and draw off it. Man, they quickly bin that sword. They didn't even think. Oh no, they didn't have a choice. Never mind, that was not a surveil land. Resets on Sunday. Oh, wait, what? Oh shoot! All right. Also, someone's calling me. I might have to BRB. Oh, yes. The totally not mono green card. Excellent. Just mill the non-green cards and play the green ones. Just how you drew it up, literally. Alright, opponent, just let me know when it's my turn, that's fine. Oh, they also have an answer for my card, too? Excellent. Okay, well. We played cards and then lost to mono green. I can't Hellsmeld that. I mean, I can, but why? Target opponent puts a creature for your choice or graveyard. So Tasha's -2 is useless. I mean, really nothing matters. I'm just gonna cast that. But I don't think anything here really matters. Did they put both Vorinclex lands into play? How did they do that? How did my opponent put both the forests that this got into play? How did they just do that? What? What did I not notice that just happened? I'm very confused. Maybe they just didn't get 2 forests? That's the only answer. It's literally the only thing that would make sense there. Okay. Well, again, I can't exactly let them untap with anything at all, so I'll just take that. But I'm dead to the first instance of them having anything. Yeah, we're gonna just play that. Alright, so if they go one more turn... Actually, that's ridiculous. That seems like the most incorrect thing to do. I'm gonna play this, because that seems like the correct thing to do. Alright, it didn't pan out. Okay, hold on. 20. Sure. I think my opponent is actually out of forests. Witch Enchanter. Okay. That's an enchant. Oh, right, because of the house meld. Like, how did they do that? Okay. They just didn't do the thing? Am I not understanding something? Let's take you. I guess they were just, like, respecting my ability to do something? Sure. Okay. Yep. I'm not going to do anything. I don't care about Narset. They're not even the type of deck to care about it themselves. Disciple of Danger Noodles. Alright, let's draw 2. Let's put that on top. And then let's be mana efficient. Extinction Event gives me... Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Protection. You learned a long time ago the reserve list is a lie? What? Alright, let's see. What do we want to win with? What does this even do? I don't care. Alright, all of this is kind of lame, actually. I guess I'll get that. Alright, yeah. Just like all the other green players, if I hit them the first time with my commander, they're just done. And we did, so I probably could have went for it earlier. No, well, I could have went for it earlier, but then had they ever went for the mutate, I would have basically lost on the spot, right? Total power 10. I mean, the main issue is Mythweaver Pock. I'm pretty sure this is a 0/0. So they just, like, get that for free every time. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is a 0/0. I actually don't know. It's Lord of Extinction. It's the same rule set as Lord of Extinction, right? Yeah, okay, so maybe they can't get Mythweaver Pock. But yeah, it's funny, yeah, they played all the green cards, and then they just milled all the not green cards. Just how you write it up every... I mean, that's the ideal scenario. Full stop. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to reanimate the non-green stuff, and then play the green stuff so you can get to it. The non-green stuff. It's just kind of funny how it lined up. Alright, I thought I lost that, and then I just didn't randomly. We take those. House Meld is getting changed tomorrow? That's a bold statement. The fact that they're even considering adding control magic means it would be weird if House Meld didn't get changed, but if we went down that line of thinking, we would find that a lot of things are very strange that have happened. So, it wouldn't say much. I guess I could have actually stifled my opponent's mutate there. Huh, that's funny. Okay. Well, it's safe to assume that that card will get Cavern of Souls, but fortunately Clive as a resolved threat is not the worst thing to have happen. And it would also be Cavern on Human from Mono Red, which is not really the best use of Cavern. But it's still, I mean, if you're going to cast Cavern, I mean, why wouldn't you just do that, right? That's just a Dragon Rage channeler. That is really weird. Okay. It's also a human. That was very strange. Let's play this. So we have Counterspell. The old OG cancel, sort of. Not really. This probably should get Ancient Tomb. I'm not going to lie, but I guarantee you they're going to get Cavern. I think there's like a huge argument that Ancient Tomb is right. Oh, wow. Looks like everything ever was just wrong. Looks like every line in my head was wrong. Alright, Davriel. Do literally anything that's remotely relevant. Like, anything ever. That's fine. And then, that's fine. Alright, so we got the discount. We'll take the discount. I can't believe the Manor Gargoyle is part of the options here. It's like, who like made the list of deals? How is the Manor Gargoyle the same as a permanent Jet Medallion? Like, what? Devotion is still 0. I like the strategy that's going on here. I am gonna agree Davriel because I expect this game to last long enough for that to matter. I could have went for my commander. I don't think that would be right, though. Need a land. Found a land. I can put these back. Yep. And then like that. And then like this. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to plus this. Oh, jeez. Alright, I'm gonna plus it. I'm doing it. Not gonna lie to you, though. This land is valuable. But apparently I deemed Liliana Plus more valuable. Also, when your opponent sees 3 Planeswalkers, they get kind of sad. They had Blood Moon in hand, that's funny. Kind of weird with Expedition Map Nykthos, but you don't have both every game. Oh, they're looking at the Guardian Idol, see if it kills any of these. It does not. Could have a burn spell, though. I have no idea which one is the right one. Looks like that one is. I wonder if this is worth it. It must be. Got nothing else going on, right? Yeah. Just cards you're pitching anyways. Fair enough. Alright, I don't feel like House Meld matters. With 3 Planeswalkers, neither does Palantir. So, let's do that instead. We're going to Davriel deal. I don't care about Guardian. If my opponent's turn is Guardian Idol, we win. If like their turn is just doing that, the game is over. It's just over if that's their whole turn. I don't have to worry about it. I could plus on their top deck. Yeah, we can plus the Jace that undoes the Guardian. But the Brainstorm is valuable too. Both of these are reasonable, but let's just plus it. Forces... I mean, I really don't know. I'm just... I don't know. I don't think anything matters at this point. It would be a Christmas miracle for them to get out of this. That Christmas miracle does not involve... Alright, so we just win then? Yeah, the game's just over now. Look at that. Not even my opponents, literally not even my opponents, get to, no, you gotta kill a Planeswalker. No, you gotta kill a Planeswalker. You gotta kill a Planeswalker. Nobody gets to do this. Not even my opponents. Yeah, you gotta do that. You can't afford to, like, not do that. Alright, we win. They do not get the stuff. Look at it. Look at it get exiled again. Look at it get exiled. They had to kill Jace so I couldn't bounce it. They just had to do that. There are no more mountains in my opponent's deck, by the way. Oh wow, they swept the board. Okay, the game is technically still happening. The game is still happening. I'm gonna plus Davriel. And then I'm gonna split their lands. And again, there's no more mountains in their deck, so not likely to hit lands. Pile, pile, pile. And that's it. Their devotion is 2, and this costs 4 to cast. So I actually will bounce this right now, because they cannot recast it without losing the treasure token. So, okay, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what we wanted to happen, have happen. All right, Davriel, what do you got for me this time? I guess I'll take that thing. Take that. And I'm not gonna look for a land with this Archmage's Charm. It would be so cool to see my opponent come out of what just happened to them this game so far. But I've seen crazier. Sure, Davriel is not gonna make it unless I draw something very specific. I did not draw something specific. I could have... No, I couldn't have done that. Alright. Davriel's down. They did it. They cleared all the Planeswalkers. They actually did it. Look at them. Look at them go. Oh, and then they have Wintermoon. Alright. So this... Oops. And then here. So doot. Those two? Already play a land, so play you. Okay. I guess I could have taken Reanimate and just killed them with Twin Flame, but my commander will just start to win the game unless they seriously draw hot to get out of that, which is not very likely whatsoever. Actually, I don't even know if my Zareth is big enough to swing past that. I don't know, is it? I don't know what Davriel's done to me. It's hard to keep track of them all. Alright, well, it's very likely that it's enough. And you know what probably is also enough? Is just doing this. I'm just gonna do that. I feel like that's also just enough to make my opponent just be over it. Okay, strip. Well, you don't want to crack the strip. I don't know. Yeah, you kind of need the strip because they don't have any mountains to draw. So it's like every land is like really valuable. Okay. So now we just pass. To be fair, it's not like I have committed the death to opponent situation very quickly. They do need the red. So this didn't necessarily reset them. They need the red source to get this and then that. So they don't have that currently. We're also at, like, a lot of life. Okay, so now we bop them, and then we just win with whatever we want. We could take... Oh, it's in their hand. Alright, let's just take that one, because it's funny. I mean, at this point, I'm just playing with my food, but still. With the intent to flip the midnight clock, I guess it doesn't really matter. I could have taken this. It doesn't matter. I want the mana. The clock is actually about the same. This isn't triple, it's double, right? It's like 12 and 12, as opposed to 6, 12, and... It's actually, I think, the same. So getting the treasure tokens first could just matter. Like, mathematically speaking. Yeah, that idol. This is the best idol I've ever seen. Look at it go. I mean, if I were my opponent, I would have sent the snooze emote and conceded after the Liliana -6. As is tradition. Oh, gamble. You can't find a mountain. But they can find, I don't know, what else is their red source? A mana rock? Half their deck exists. Godo is on the other side of the universe. It's not happening. I think they no, they can't cast it, though. Yeah, they can't find interaction anymore. I don't know. I have no idea what you find here. Can we blow up this mountain and get the true colorless victory? Is it possible? Technically? Okay, they'd have to sack Strip Mine, and then I can reanimate it. But the game would be over if that happened. They'd be down 2 lands and be GG's there. Alright, so I'm sure it's a mana rock. I don't know what on earth else it could be here. Oh, wow. They did find interaction. They sought out interaction. That seems very strange, doesn't it? Shouldn't you just not do that? Right? Shouldn't my opponent get, like, mana? Because I can recast this. It doesn't really do much. I don't know, I feel like the Fury just isn't the right call. You have to get some kind of mana rock to just slowly crawl back in. Because you're currently just not doing that. Crawling back in, I mean. Alright, I mean, maybe it's just my opponent's just going through the lines to practice and see where the game goes from there and whatnot. Like, maybe they just accept they're not going to win, but they just want to see what they can do with the limited resources or something. Which is fair. I'm going to flip the clock on my turn like a greedy enjoyer. I'm just going to flip it now. None of this matters, so... Yeah, we'll get the Tyrant because it's funny. Honestly, getting a mountain would be totally reasonable as well. I'm gonna crack the treasure token while it adds 2. Alright, we gain, I think, 14 life? It could be 28 life. I don't know. I don't know what Davriel's got going on over here. I think it's just 14. Yeah, it's just 14. Alright. Well, I don't think I'm going to die now. Even if I drew 7 lands there. I don't think we were losing that through damage or anything. They're also now dead. Yeah, now they're dead, right? What, 5? 10, 11, 12. Yeah, they're just dead now to the double damage here. Crazy game. I mean, I do not believe... I don't... Excuse me. I don't believe there are any possible scenarios where after they lost all their mountains that they could then crawl back into it unless they drew nothing but mana. And ideally would probably want to have Cavern of Souls in that package as well for this to legitimately resolve. Not that they could play around a counterspell anyways. But let's say this resolves, you draw, what is it, 2 or something at this point. That's all you've got going on for Devotion. Doesn't have haste. It doesn't even really flip into anything concerning. I have infinite answers to it, but the wheels would start to turn, and I think they can only start turning if you resolve your 6-mana 5/5, and it's just not looking like it's going to happen here. It would take this deck to effectively draw nothing but lands. I would have to draw literally mono lands, because even a counterspell is good. There are no bad draws that I can currently think of. So, yeah. They did kill 3 Planeswalkers, though. Yeah, maybe they were hoping I would just lose internet. I'm actually kind of... Another pack? What is going on? Okay, at least it's not a space pad. What is going on? Painful spaghetti. Cool. Actually, it looked like spaghetti in the art. Oh. You are literally getting spaghettified. Nice. So, Stern Scolding would have been a bad draw. Stifle would have been fine. It would have stopped Clive. Ashiok could technically do nothing as a possibility. Has the ability or potential to perform a nothingness. That's about it. Yeah, that's kind of it. There's like two, maybe 3 cards in my entire deck, other than lands, that are just like totally dead draws and just don't do anything. So I would have to draw, like, no, even still, let's say I drew only the bad cards. I would then still have to go back to, excuse me, only drawing lands. And my opponent would still have to deal with everything I did. I think fundamentally, there was a 0% chance I could win there. I would, even if I only drew lands, I think there's still a 0% chance they win. After I did what I did. There was a window where I could have defended one of my Planeswalkers. I don't know where it was. But one of the 3 could have stayed alive at the end there, at that final, like, 5-6 turn grind. It could have been around the whole time. And I chose not to keep it alive, because I just thought I would win, you know, after all the value they got. And I think it is like 99% chance to. But if I wanted to, I could have kept one alive. I think it was Davriel that would have lived. Yeah. So what is Tasha? So far, Tasha's been a letdown. I could just run a better card than that. I don't even know if Tasha's that good in Historic Brawl anymore. I don't really know if I think it's good. Full stop. I'm pretty sure Tasha is a bracket 5. Last time I played it, because remember I went to play Tasha, and then it was just in tier 1 for some reason. And I'm like, why is it up here? And it lost every game it played, of course it did. I went like 2-25 or something with Tasha. We had that like super sweaty game against a Tameo player. This was 4 or 5 months ago, maybe longer. Surprised I can remember that. Very surprised. Look at me go. Oh yeah, change equation. That's fine. Sensor is also fine. Nah, actually, nah. No censor. But yeah, there was that one game. I really just don't think Tasha's any business playing against Keenan inside this. And it didn't. I got totally stomped on. What on earth is this? Oh no, does someone remember what color specialization they are? Because the game won't tell me for free. Like it does in the intro screen. I'm pretty sure at one point it actually used to tell you, and now it just doesn't. Alright, well, maybe we just win with turn 1 start. Maybe that's a thing. Is this the person that played the other one? It might actually be. We'll see. Alright, get wrecked. Guess we'll never know now. Get totally wrecked. Yeah, this is. I'm pretty sure... Yes. I'm pretty sure this is the same player doing the same thing. The only person that has ever played this against me. Because I recognize the profile picture. And this is also somebody who plays really quickly. And that Fetchly and Crack was a good example of them playing fast. But yeah, so I've played against this person before, and they were black-red. So just like some kind of black-red aggro thing. But, get stifled. It was a red? Alright, yeah. Was confirmed. Same person? Alright. What were we playing against? What were we playing when we played against them? We did win, right? It was like a really long game. I think I won. I hope I won. If I didn't win, I'm definitely blaming you guys. Because I am not really the type to take responsibility for my actions. Or inactions. So... nothing to do with that turn 1. I will give myself the opportunity to brainstorm, though. I will give myself the opportunity. There are no good brainstorms this turn cycle, though. Let's play you. Again, there's no reason to play the Ancient Tomb. It doesn't actually do anything. Okay, now it does. Do I play it? Yes. Do I lose if it doesn't work? Oh wait, I only have one blue source. Never mind, never, we're good. Everything's fine. They did immediately put value in the graveyard. They got a mountain. What? Alright. Main phase. Playing around the old mana drain here. As if my opponent was not going to leave up a counterspell anyways. Okay, so they took care of that. This is a blue-red issue deck. I'll say that. Yeah, this is exactly what I think it is. Which is a problem. Wait, what? Okay, I don't agree with that one, but that's what my opponent did. Let's put that away. And reanimate, not looking too useful, but you never know. You never know. I suppose I'll give myself the opportunity to put it in my hands. Though there's a good chance I don't do that. We'll see. I don't know if I can win this. This kind of deck strategy is pretty good against me. It's really not looking like Reanimate's going to do anything this game. It would be wise to just get rid of it. I do have the flashing threat, and I should continue making land drops. So there is something to be said about that. They can't just, like, willy-nilly do weird stuff. Okay, my opponent did willy-nilly do weird stuff. But, oh, I can see why now. I see. Because I can't do anything about it. I can't just cast my commander. I see. Well, good now. If I cast it, they just ral, and then I don't have anything. Is there any reason not to... Okay. I mean, it's not getting better? What does that do? It is a land. Can you play it? Of course you can. I also can't afford to just windmill slam my commander. It just wouldn't really pan out too well, so... I'll get the cycle land. Could be wrong, but it's what I did, so... Yeah, I can't just cast my commander. If it gets countered, I actually just lose on the spot, so... That is really weird. Anything to reanimate, please? Anything at all? No. Alright, again, can't really do anything. They'll just recast their commander, and then I'll lose. Yeah, I'm just losing this game. That's it. They're just tailored for the most egregious draw go scenarios. My opponent's deck is ready for, like, things that your opponents just don't do against you in the format as a whole. And there's nothing I can do about it, because I'm prepared for the other 95% of the format. Yeah, whatever. No, I mean, yeah, that's just not... You just can't play a deck like that in this format. It just can't do it. It's just only good against one thing, and that one thing does not exist. But unfortunately, we're sitting here playing that one thing, so... But against, again, anything with a green mana symbol next to it, you just lose instantly. Trust me, I have tried. Rather extensively. I mean, you'll win sometimes, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to win 99% of your games. Cool. They played a land and they were over it. I'm not sure why. This is actually kind of a solid matchup. The black-green grindy thing feels kind of good into this, but alright, I'll take it. I would, like, rather be my opponent in that spot. Huh. Not that I have little faith in my deck, I just felt like they kind of just inherently favored a little there. Apparently not. Maybe they just played the wrong land. They just wanted to play a forest and then clicked a swamp and then concede it. That is actually possible. That is possible. I'm not going to say that's a thing that couldn't happen. It's one of the early concessions that you just wouldn't know is currently happening to you. I should leave myself with the opportunity to shield druids, but that feels like a profoundly bad idea to, like, commit that for any real... Yeah, it just seems like a really not good idea to commit that. I'm not going to do it. Alright, my opponent would also just need to do the thing. I will turn to Grief. Oh, maybe I should turn to Rusko. Yeah, turn 2 Rusko feels better, because it's like permanent mana in play, and technically a 3/3. Yeah, this is just slightly better. I don't really want to grief my opponent's turn 2 play. Codis is... oh, this is Gonti. Oh my goodness, it's Gonti. We were playing around... We were playing into a completely different commander. I'm an idiot. Saw Sultai. Thought nothing else mattered. Alright. Alright. Still feel completely fine about my play, but still. That's funny. It's still the same exact deck. No, that's not true. That's not true. It's not exactly the same. They are very different. More or less. I mean, they do sort of play your opponent's cards, technically, so I guess they got that going. But one of them is an indestructible 2/1, and the other is a, that. I mean, you have, like, Fatal Push or something? Should I leave up Mana Drain? I mean, most people would say, obviously. But, do I? I really would like to just cast this Grief. I'm going to cast the Grief. It's not like Mana Drain's going anywhere. Let's do this on Swamp. Alright, this is another reason why I played Rusko, was so I could do this. Alright, they cling my... something. Alright. House Meld. Well, no. You can have the One Ring. I am ahead significantly. I don't think the One Ring is helping you. Did they not play a land last turn, but cast House Meld? I mean, Cling? That seems counterintuitive? Maybe I'm just tripping. Yeah, I think I'm just tripping. Alright. I'm just tripping. So, as it stands, my Mana Drain is winning. Reanimate Rusko. Not gonna lie to you, didn't expect that. What if I just let that happen? Nah, let's not let that happen. Actually, we should, because I can Cyclonic Rift it. Yeah, this is okay. I don't really care about the clock. And this still leaves me open to... Oh, wow, alright. So let's bounce that. And then Edict the Shaman. Oh, come on. Really? Stop having things. Get out of here. Get out of here. Not allowed. Alright, I'm still fortunately winning by, well, pretty significant margin. They're going down to 9. Are there any creatures to eat? Nope. Deathrite Shaman only gains life on creatures. Yeah, they're going down to 9. They're going down to 7? Oh no, they're going to use this to do what now? Okay. Wait a minute, this doesn't stop the 3 damage. They can no longer play the One Ring. It's just not an option anymore. Let's do this? Wait, I have to actually read these. Yeah, let's do this. Or this. No, this. Alright. Can they cast Uro? Yep. And one would argue they kind of have to. So... Edict... No, they're not going to take the Edict. I guess I'll just hide my hand. Oh, wait a minute. Can I do that? No. Well, so far, nothing has happened that would care about Gonti. It's just Sultai, best cards in the game pile. Okay, does that do anything? It would be a bit of a Christmas miracle, but it is possible. We've lost crazier games in this. I don't have to counter the One Ring, and I don't think I'm going to... Okay, now I can, because they can't do anything else. Yeah, now they just can't do anything else, so... Oh, wait, what? Why are we going this line here? Does this all make sense? Why does this... Well, okay. Why am I concerned about any of this? I feel like I'm not, right? Yeah, we're definitely not concerned about stuff. Alright, land... Yeah, alright. There's just over. I mean, the Rusko, they're at 4. I can just kill them. Reanimate Uro, that's 1. And then 2. If I did cast the counterspell, they were dead. Because they'd lose a life on their turn from the counterspell. And then I could have cast an Edict to get another blocker out of the way, and then a lethal menace attacker. But as I played it, I did not have that option, because I didn't cast a counterspell. I was like, kind of... Unless the card wins the game, I wasn't convinced I had to counter it, but it was lethal if I did. It's basically impossible for them to do anything, regardless, but they kind of top-decked out of it. Like, they were drawing stuff. Like, you know, like, they were doing stuff. The Sauron's Ransom, on my part, was definitely a bait. It was an all-in bait, and they didn't take it, so it kind of backfired for sure. It definitely backfired, but I could have went 2-2. I just really wanted them to take Uro, and obviously that just didn't work out. Now, to be fair, I don't know if I would have ever taken Uro either, because it has escape, so maybe I could have done it the other way. I might have done the bait, quote-unquote, backwards, where their Uro should have been face down, and the other 3 should have been face up. But I didn't, so... Should have, but I didn't. Should have, but I didn't have. Oh, my neck. I'm getting old. Getting old. My neck. My back. Sadness is happiness. How do you do, fellow human? I see you've discovered the inner truth. The combo has haste, but it is vulnerable to a removal spell as far as my brain is aware, correct? On the draw, though, I don't think just a removal spell is enough. Ooh, well, now it's going to have to be. Okie dokie. Stern spaghetti. That's fine. Probably get rid of Virtue, because I don't think Virtue matters. Yeah, just Chrome Mox that. Play... It depends if they play a Mana Rock. They milled Assemble the Team. I don't know what that means. Okay, Stern Scolding's gotta go now. I forgot this is a cast trigger. Can't counter it. I forgot. I'm sorry. And then play this. Alright, well, I currently have nothing that interacts with my opponent. A bit egregious, I'll admit. Alright, so one of the combo pieces is just in my opponent's hand. It is not castable next turn. They have to be a little careful. I will just kill this so they can't victimize. Or something else. And they just pitch it. Of course they do. Why not? Do you also have the reanimate spell? You do not. Alright, looks like the reanimate spell in question is 5 mana. I do not draw anything that matters, so there is nothing I can do. There is nothing I can do. Alright. All they have to do is have it. Okay, that makes it a no, it keeps the mana cost. Alright, there was fundamentally nothing I could do here. So. I guess I just needed to keep... If I kept the Bitter Blossom hand, oddly enough, or the Bitter... whatever it's called, I would have just won the game. So, that was my bad. I mulliganed... I was kind of hesitant in admitting that I just needed a single... Oh, no, they had a discard spell. Never mind. That is a complete lie. I lied to you. They had a discard spell. What I said was not true. I would have needed to mulligan. So which one of these is the one I get rid of? I think I get rid of Tail's End here. Although this can double Stifle. So maybe I get rid of this. I think that's slightly better. Yeah. Is this the same person earlier? It might be the same person we played earlier. Could be wrong. I think it is, though. Like the weird endurance Tannic enjoyer. Actually, did I might have cast Psychic Frog against that person. If it's Once Upon a Time, they need to wait. Oh. Okay, sure. Yuki? Rafellos, that's exciting. That's insane to you? It is? Not to me. Not to me. It either goes right up to bracket 5, or is just another one of the 25 really good blue commanders. And then, you know, it's just up there with, like, the other ones. I don't know, is that problematic, though? Oh boy, green, 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 green. Oh, they got a mountain. Hold on, that's not a forest. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're not. What do you? Wow. All right, I'll take it. Wow, did not expect that. Is that like? Alright. Is that ever right? I don't know what their hand is, but, like, I'm hard convinced to ever do that. Yeah, Rafellos is banned in normal Commander, but that's a different format. Can't assess that for this one. Okay. Well, it's a good thing. You know what? It's a really good thing I didn't stifle that. I'm not going to lie to you. Because I just wasn't looking and clicked OK. It's a good thing I didn't stifle. That is really funny. Because now I'll stifle that instead. Works out, I guess. Oh. Or they just simply don't. Wait, what? What's the point of casting it if you're just going to get rid of it? I don't understand. I should probably just not lose to that. If they just have infinite lands. If their last card is a land, we're just... Yeah, alright, so that worked out. I don't know if they're in chump block territory. But I will gladly just give them the chump block, because that's just... I mean, whether I draw a card or my opponent goes up a card. I mean, I go up a card in hand, it's kind of effectively the same, so it's fine. Looks like I stifled a land anyways. Look at me get there. It worked out too, because now they can't now they can't play it and then also do other stuff. Well, that's kind of lame. Okay, 3 fetch lands in a row with my opponent's draws. Just 3 fetch lands, and it's in a juncture in which their commander is in play now. Kinda nuts, but fortunately, simple top decks, it takes quite the runner of cards, because not any one card per se is particularly threatening. No Watery Grave. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna get Watery Grave. Fetch land, fetch land, fetch land, Mythweaver Pock. Alright. Nice. So, we definitely want to hit our opponent with this frog. Actually, yeah, Mythweaver Pock was really good because it stops my commander from hitting them. Okay, well, I stand corrected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cyclonic Rift. Let's take the Murderous Rider and Wash Away. And I have no respect for further top decks. I'm just going to kill this. I'm just not going to respect my opponent to draw some crazy out off the top. There's no respect for it. Alright. Average outcome achieved. And again, just like the other 15 times, once I hit my opponent with Zareth and my opponent is a green deck, they immediately concede if they haven't conceded already. To be fair, if it was just a 4-4 at this point, I don't think they could do anything anyways, but still. It's just funny. Let's make it interesting. Make it interesting. Give them it. Make it interesting. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. We're doing it. I know countering it was right, but I don't care. I want to be wrong. So, swing all out. The way they're doing this now makes me think they're always getting rid of the Explorer, and they just want to mill first, for whatever reason. Yep. Oh, hey, it's Aerial. Nice. It actually kills it because it blocked with it too. It's funny. I know I should have countered it, but this is what I did. I was actually really curious what their 4 was. Suppose that is maybe the best out, like just the best thing to get there. They didn't think about it too long, so. And again, any one single top deck, I'm curious to like, it could ever actually get them out of it. When the land enters, you may draw okay, I don't care about that. Oh, look at that. Grove of the Burn Willows. Beautiful. I think the From the Vault one is like one of my favorite. I think it's From the Vault. Is like my favorite land of all time is the From the Vault lands Grove of the Burn Willows. It looks so gorgeous. And the foiling is like that super vertical shininess thing to it. So yeah, I mean, I could have, if I countered the spell, my opponent would have conceded on the spot, but I just really wanted to see what they could have done in this spot in top deck mode. They went fetch land after I stifled into commander fetch land into Mythweaver Pock. So like they had everything. No, it was 3 fetch lands. Yeah, fetch land stifle, fetch land for commander, next turn fetch land again into Mythweaver Pock. So if you were ever gonna draw lands off the top as your only card, it would be ideal to be playing specifically Tannic in that exact spot. But yeah, there's nothing they can do. They didn't reanimate Shifting Woodland with this. So let's say they did do that. They actually got Shifting Woodland. They could have reanimated, I don't know, Scute Swarm with the plan to continue to draw more lands? But I guess they could see what they draw first before they decide. They would also have the opportunity to get this back with the Shifting. I really think one of the lands they pulled out of the graveyard should have been this, but they went for the double fetch land instead with their commander, which is, you know, it has value in its own, but I really think the Shifting Woodland was the next step to continue in the game there. So yeah, there was a line here where they could keep going off the top, which is just bonkers that a mono green deck could just continue off the top like that. But all right. Your favorite land is probably Mazavith. Yeah, that's a cool one. I think artistically speaking, I'm not too big on the old lands, just like the old cards in the game. I think they're fine. Like the original Carplusian Forest, Curd Ape looks kind of cool, but just in general, I'm a fan of like the original full art lands from Zendikar. The first full art lands are like still some of my favorite, if not my outright favorite ones. Like the forest is just amazing, or one of the forests is just amazing to me. And again, I'm not very nostalgic. I don't have this heavy like nostalgia feeling. Just from a stand, like if they all came out today, I'd kind of have the same feeling about all of them. Well, I'm relying pretty heavily on Palantir, which is asking a lot out of a deck that is up like from a mono green opponent. I don't know. Anything's possible, I guess. Okay, well, there goes that. Excellent. It is weird that mono green, or just green in general, most of the time someone's green, it's basically mono green anyways, has like a lot of turn one plays that sort of end the game. It's not like this one, but it has a significant capacity to win immediately. It feels weird to me that that's just a thing in this game. I don't know how I feel about that. I think the format needs to be looked at so like this doesn't just happen every time. Like, I don't know why Burgeoning should just win turn 0. I don't get the logic. I don't want to land. Well, I kind of want to land, but they're going to mill anyways. I'll just have them take some kind of damage off a card that I wouldn't cast. I mean, it could be lag. It could just be laggy. I'm not going to fault my opponent for... If there's only one decision, I mean, they didn't like... I don't feel like I'm being sandbagged or anything. Sometimes I do, but just not in that spot. Alright, I lost my swamp. That definitely doesn't help my chances of winning. I'll tell you that much. Okay, I found a swamp. Does my opponent have yet another land off the Burgeoning? If it even matters, I don't even think it matters anymore. Cool. Oh, that was fun. Did you all enjoy the 1 mana win the game? I did. I enjoyed it. I just wasn't the one doing it. I sure enjoy it. Do you think I should do the state? Should I do a the state of Historic Brawl video? Should I do one for YouTube? I've never done one before, but I feel like my intros and outros explain enough about the fundamentals of the format that you can just piece together the past. Like, you could take random snippets from the most recent 10 uploads I do and just like have the state of Historic Brawl splattered in there because my outros talk about the state of the format anyways. Same with the intro, right? A lot of my card decisions kind of have to take the state of the format into consideration when I make the deck. So, kind of already doing that. Anyways, alright, so this was okay. When you hit your opponent, notably, when you hit a green player, you sort of just win, because by the time you hit your opponent, who is a green player, there's probably something in the graveyard they don't want you to reanimate. Primeval Titan, something close to Primeval Titan, or one of the 55 other things that are slightly less as good as Primeval Titan but do the same thing. So you just steal some big green thing and win the game because of the value and whatnot. So yeah, if your opponent's getting hit by this, they're losing the game. And it's like super ultra Ragavan on steroids that's in blue and black instead of red. But you have to hit your opponent. This costs 5 mana. You can play Mana Rocks. That does mean you have significantly less tools at your disposal to interact with your opponent early. If your turn 2 play is Arcane Signet, and you don't have like a cut down for the Llanowar Elves, or you know, some idea like that, then this looks... It just, like, the Mana Rocks just look weird then. I just don't like Mana Rocks in decks like this. It seems as though the hyper greedy control decks that are only really good against other control things, which you know, as I'm sure you've come to realize if you play this format, there's not a lot of greedy control decks looming around there. It just doesn't seem like a lot of those kinds of decks are even running Mana Rocks. They do sometimes, but aside from Mana Drain, I'm not seeing a lot of ramp spells out of the like blue greedy control decks that much. So I don't know if I was ahead of the curve on that, or it's just happenstance and coincidence and small sample size. Although I don't know how small it is anymore. I play too much of this. I was wrong about Stern Scolding. I thought it was just toughness. And I've thought that way for basically since the card came out. I'm not going to lie to you. If I remembered at some point that it was also power, I forgot. I had been reminded today that it's also power. This card is probably just better than like Spell Pierce when it comes to creatures, right? Actually, I would say most assuredly is better than Spell Pierce. Not Spell Pierce, Spell Snare. It's like the Spell Snare of creatures. You know, it's only creatures. This is definitely better than Spell Snare when it comes to creatures. Spell Snare can also hit creatures. I don't know if I like this. You could still play something like Dismember. Dismember is a mythic, so good luck with that. But you could play something like that instead. I don't know if I like this card still. I don't know. It's way better than I thought it was, but it's still kind of weird. You just don't need this card. It usually has text throughout the entire course of the game. So if that's something you're interested in, then there you go. But if you top deck it later, it feels really bad that it's not simply some other kind of counter spell, even if it's like a soft counter. Honestly, maybe just putting Censor in this spot would feel slightly better, but it's up to the individual. This gets better the higher up in brackets you are, but because green is just a thing, I don't even know if that matters, because... Actually, you know what? Half of the green openers now don't actually use a creature. It's like Utopia Sprawl and Burgeoning are not creatures for Stern Scolding, and those are, if they're your opponent's turn one play, is just like really bad. I think today was the first day I got hard soloed by a Burgeoning. I had not been soloed by it on its own. I've seen a couple today, and there was like one real one, at least on stream. I've probably lost to it off stream a bunch, but I'm not like fully paying attention when I'm playing and not streaming. But today I did get completely soloed by that. I think there's a problem with that. Utopia Sprawl and all the other ones don't feel as bad. I mean, they still do. Let's be real. They still do. But burgeoning, when it puts like 2, then 3, then 4 lands in play, or honestly, even if it stops at 3, it makes land tax look like it doesn't have text on it, right? You would just always play burgeoning over land tax, no matter what the deck is. I don't think there's any conceivable way in which I would ever choose land tax over burgeoning, assuming you can play burgeoning in your green deck or whatever. So it's just like an absolutely insane card, and I had really noticed it playing a deck like this. Your draw go plan doesn't really work too well if your opponent gets to play a land on everyone's turn. It just doesn't really get to work. You can do the thing, like play a land and then pass back, and your opponent does the same thing and passes back, which most likely they won't do that, but let's say they did. In a draw-go game, and your opponent has burgeoning in some sort of Bant control list, let's say, you probably immediately lost the game because they just play too many lands and it's over. You can try to I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know what you can do about it. You just have to take the L and move on. Psychic Frog is still probably one of the best, if not the best, blue-black creature in the game. If you could put it in your command zone, you would, and this commander is no exception to that. You would just, boop, put that right there. There are times where this is just better than Eureka. Some would argue it is just better than Eureka, but it's not a legendary, so you can't do that, but there is certainly a debate to be had there. Rusko was alright. I did actually like Grief. This card usually impresses me every time I do run it. Subtlety, I don't think I own Subtlety, but you could put that in here. Commandeer was in here, didn't like it. The 5-mana Jace probably shouldn't have been in here. Again, the 5-mana play is usually just to windmill slam this, and your whole deck is a wall of spooky instant speed stuff to, you know, complement the random 4/4 you got in here. There are some matchups where this doesn't do anything at all. I'll say maybe that's not the most common, though. Like, yeah, when your opponent doesn't have an army of creatures and whatnot, there's usually a fetch land that you can repeatedly get, and you're not really upset with that. You would wish it was something more, but you're not the most upset if it's just getting a fetch land, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not really using the mana for anything too crazy, but if I'm just drowning my opponent in card advantage, then I think that's just okay. But yeah, there's some matchups where that's all it's really going to do. If it's like up against Baral, then it doesn't really have any text, because you're just never going to resolve it, and even if you do, you probably have nothing at all to target. It's all instants and sorceries and whatnot, so like it might actually Stone Cold do nothing except hit your opponent for 4. And then you just play without a commander. So any game where you just were effectively playing without a commander, you're going to bank so heavily on one of these planeswalkers to just win the game. It doesn't have to win with an ultimate, but just win the game with its value engines of brainstorming and fate sealing and unsummon spamming and drawing 2 cards a turn, and Davriel giving you either the divorce papers or the $1 million lottery ticket. It completely depends on Davriel's mood. We're just along for the ride when it comes to Davriel. You're kind of just at the mercy of your hand being good enough without a commander if this is bad. And there's quite a few matchups where that is the case. It's sort of similar to Y'shtola in that way. I still think it's better than Y'shtola, because if your opponent didn't do anything for a turn cycle and you didn't have to cast interaction, you can be like, alright, 5-mana, boom. Just send it, because it has flash. If it didn't have flash, that would not be the case at all. But you can decide to do it as a thing to do because nothing else mattered. And sometimes when you do that, the window is also clear for you to actually smack your opponent. And they also don't counter it or kill it or whatever. But if your opponent is in a position where they feel like they have to kill this, I think you're in a position you want to be in. So that's actually kind of an ideal scenario. They're just interested in actually killing that. But yeah, any green player, if you smack them, basically the first time you hit anyone with forests in their deck with this, you probably just win. Your opponent is going to be playing 5 or 6 drops starting turn 3 or 4. and you don't have any way to ramp really, so you're playing this at, turn 5, and you're probably not even going to be able to do that because you have to interact with your opponent on your turn 5 in some meaningful way. But I guess you could try to find that window where they played Primeval Titan on turn 4, and then you play this, and then you kill the Primeval Titan with a removal spell to clear the way for this. So like there's kind of that 1-2 punch idea. But again, you have to have that happen. Frogifies get in the way of this. They can block with the 1/1. A little unfortunate, but I mean, it still answers the creature, and then they can't like besage you or naturalize it off, and it's in the graveyard for like this later, or you reanimate or something. So it's not the worst in the world, but you could run maybe just more spot removal that isn't Frogify effects, if that's something you feel you want to do. The sweepers, again, we kind of have to assess with a green lens. The sweepers aren't that great against like the Pock, Vorinclex, Primeval Titan stuff. It's not even really good against Tyler's Provisioner or even Lotus Cobra. Like the green stuff can very easily survive or have just gotten so much value from the green creatures you swept that they don't really feel it too bad like, an aggro deck would, essentially. So you could probably shave maybe all of them. Honestly, you could just shave all of them. Keep Toxic Deluge maybe, and also maybe Damnation. But you could probably shave the rest of them or whatever, and just run more 1-for-1 interaction, and then some kind of card advantage spell like the instant speed divination, like Quick Study, or some weird stuff. Yeah, the green, it is really all about green. So it's just the most prolific color. It's doing the strongest thing. It is by far the most consistent color on top of everything else. So it's just what you got to assess. I mean, every blue deck should probably just play Changed Equation at this point. Like, no questions asked. If you just have islands in your deck, play this card. Honestly, any of the other green hate cards at this point, full stop, like, not trying to be dramatic or hyperbolic or anything, I think you can full stop play Flash Freeze. What else? I think there's a couple more that are weird. You could probably play Deathmark. You don't have to. There's enough of this already. You don't have to color restrict your 1-minute removal spell, really. But you could play this card. Like, at this point in this format, you can play this. If I saw someone Deathmark me, I'd be like, yep. Yep. You can Flash Freeze people. We're at that point. You can Aether Gust people. We're just at that point. That's just where it is. So if everyone's just gonna be green, then you can just play accordingly and just have those tools at your disposal. In matchups where they're bad, hopefully you can just be okay with that. If your deck has a lot of draw and discard, any choice kind of situational things. Seek New Knowledge actually is an excellent card for that. And Faithless Looting, if you had read, to get rid of your Flash Freeze cards in matchups where they're not good. But if it's even like 50%, I would say it's more than that. It's just good enough to me to run them. It's not like you even have them every game. It's only, one-ofs and whatnot. So even in the green matchup, you're not just guaranteed to have it. And you're also not guaranteed to have it in matchups where your opponent is not green, right? You don't just have Flash Freeze because your opponent's red or blue or something. So I think you can run that kind of thing. And this deck definitely would have at least liked Aether Gust, for sure. So those cards are something to think about moving forward. Just pay attention to the distribution of colors of your opponents and see what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm blowing smoke out of my booty hole, but I don't think I am. So other than that, this strategy is definitely a little jank just because your card advantage is awkward. Like, if you're casting 1-for-1s over and over, if anything slips through or leaves behind value, and your way to get back in with value is to cast, like, Stock Up, that's you spending mana at a time you might not want to, and you might just like, unless it's just raw damage and you're just taking the damage because you can catch back up with Crux of Fate or Damnation or something, you're just going to start to slip behind tempo-wise, and then the tempo is going to turn into value, and then the value is going to kill you. So it's like, this is not the format where you can play the, alright, that resolves, alright, that resolves, I'll take 12, kill your board, stabilize. It's not really how this format works out, because taking 12 could essentially come from like one creature, right? Mythweaver Pock, for example, is like, you didn't counter it or kill it, and you're like, alright, I'll just wait for them to play another creature and then like cast Crux of Fate to, you know, kill their board and then catch back up. Well, you're not really going to do that if you've taken like 25, and you're not going to do it if you've taken 18 or, again, 12, and you cast a sweeper, pass right back, your opponent just plays another giant thing, and you were tapped out, can't deal with it. That's just your opponent essentially getting under your counter spells, and you're trying to bank on catching back up with something that isn't really going to let you do that in this format. So, just a problem with blue-black control in general, I would say. And that's why the Planeswalker army is just a good route to go, in my opinion. You can defend them pretty well with sweepers, for the most part. Actually, I don't even know if pretty well is accurate, because there's a lot of spot removal in the non-green decks, right? Just because you're green ready doesn't mean the other colors vanish. Suddenly, you know, you just your opponent murders riders your control payoff, like Jace, and you're like, oh, well, I'm screwed. So, yeah. Oh, that's another thing. I did struggle against other control decks, which is a very bad sign. I'm sure there's ways to circumvent that, but for the most part, not really. Like, this seems about where I'd want to be. Maybe you could exchange up to, say, 5 to 7 cards in here, where before I start to question your authority on the subject. I just didn't feel great going into any control matchups where my opponent was also running counter spells and like some kind of card draw or whatever, and, you know, removal. It's like I didn't feel too good in those spots, which is not good, because this is a good control commander, assuming there's something you can reanimate. The fact that it just has flash is very annoying. Right? You just play it on your opponent's end step 3 times, and they have to keep countering it on their turn. And then it goes back to you, and then you play a land and do whatever. Now, that being said, it is not totally unreasonable for someone to counter this over and over. You don't fight back, let's say, and then you don't punish your opponent for being tapped out on their turn. Or on your turn, excuse me. Like, they tapped on their end step. And then it goes back to you, and then like you don't actually have a creature, or like you don't have Mythweaver Pock, let's say, to windmill slam into play. It goes back to your opponent, and they have to interact with that while also leaving up mana for counter spells again. That's just not what this deck can do. Outside of like specifically Psychic Frog, it's just not going to happen. You can play those like annoying flashing threats, like the Fairy and the Brazen Borrower and like random stuff like that. The whatever it's called, I don't know what it's called. Yeah, this Fairy Mastermind, Brazen Borrower, those weird mono blue tempo ideas, right? Excuse me. There's a few scary black ones. You could go the ninja route, I guess. I don't think I would play Yuriko in here. I didn't even really consider Yuriko as a potential option. I don't really like it. Anything that would make me have to pick this up is like not at all what I want to do. So, but yeah, you could definitely go that route. It would be kind of sketchy though. I feel like this is kind of. I'm not sure this is that kind of deck. I just don't think it is. If you want to go that route, you're probably just playing Yuriko anyways. Let's be real. Whoop! I just clicked out Roscoe. So yeah, all in all, I did get 15 wins in today. I don't know how many in total. I kept playing after. I don't know how long after, but I did actually do that. Kind of surprises me. I thought this deck would be too slow by the time I was done streaming to get that many wins, but it did. So that's ideal. If you like this kind of thing, It's okay. Is it better than Scarab God? I don't know. They're surprisingly similar. Scarab God is a bit more resilient, but this has flash, and it can just go in there, and once it gets in there, it's kind of scary. But again, they're pretty similar. They're pretty similar. I prefer Scarab God because that was like I think one of the first commanders I had ever played, and I just really liked it. It's like, oh, this value engine is real and stuff, but they don't actually play too nice in each other's decks because one wants to reanimate with its own text box and the other wants to reanimate with its own text box. So they don't really play too well, unfortunately. But yeah, I ended up taking it out. The Scarab Gods didn't seem to work out, but I don't know. It's playing all the good blue and black cards, and what more can you ask for, really? So let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you want to hear me complain for 40 minutes about the format. I'll make a video about the state of Historic Brawl, but I feel like, again, my outros are already doing that, but who knows? Maybe